absolutely done for the night. So grateful for all the help that we got. These are all the boxes that are unpacked, and we have plenty more to go. But for now, this is it. My goal is to tackle the kitchen first and the rest of the house in the next 2 weeks so that we can be ready for our next move. But here are some stragglers from our move. I'm throwing all this out because we really don't need it. And then this is actually one of the biggest regrets I have in the decluttering is getting rid of all these lids, because as soon as we moved in here, we ended up using all these bins and actually needing these lids since a lot of things have to be stacked. So it's totally our loss, but I'm just going to work with what we have. Notice our mudroom is really, really crammed, and that's because it's our entrance closet, our old mudroom, and our utility closet is all packed in here. And unfortunately, we don't want to put any money into the rental property since we know we're going to leave soon. And so even maximizing the space is going to be hard because there's just so much dead space in here that could be used. Back to last minute decluttering before the move, I was also able to get rid of a bunch of shoes and several coats that I really wasn't wearing. I was also able to get rid of just some old expired berry powder that I was holding on to in hopes that I could figure out how to soften it, but it hardened, and then honestly I just wasn't using it anymore since it was so inconvenient to take it out. I also wanted to tackle the nail polish container, even though I told myself as long as the nail polishes fit in this container I'll keep them, but I really decided that I do not need this many bottles. So I went ahead and just went through them, decided which ones are kind of dry. If I had the same color, like a bunch of red ones, I decided that obviously I can just live with one of them instead of 4 of them. And so I went ahead and just tried to condense it to even a smaller container. I kept it in this container until our move, and then I ended up even tossing more out. I'm slowly starting to understand people that live with a lot less, just how easy it is to be content with way less than what we currently have. I still think we have way more than we need, but it's nice to be able to go through these areas and declutter more, and hopefully we'll get to a place where we are comfortable where we are and we are living with a lot less. When it comes to fancier dresses, I know that I rarely ever dress up, and if I do, it's usually for a wedding, and none of these really cut it for a wedding, so I'm going to go ahead and just donate all of these, and I still have a few fancy ones, and it'll be plenty. These 4 skirts is what I'm keeping, and these are the ones that I'm getting rid of, which I think is amazing, going from 10 to 4. That's a huge improvement in the skirt area. So out of these 5 dresses, I already have 2 that come to my knee length that are being washed right now. So I'm going to get rid of this one, and then out of these 4 long dresses, I'm going to try to eliminate it and keep it down to 2. For sure, I'm keeping this one, and then I just have to decide between these 2 because I'm going to go ahead and pass this one along. So these are the things that I pulled out right from the garage as soon as we moved in, because I knew they were things that either weren't working or we weren't going to use. So I either have to toss them or donate them, but I thought leaving them in front of the house would be the easiest way to be reminded that I need to take care of them. I am also really trying to prioritize the things that are important to us and what things we could pass along, since the home that we moved in is a little smaller than we had before, and a lot of the storage that we had before we don't currently have. So there's a lot of things that we need to go through and decide what fits, what stays, and what should go. These knee and elbow pads and gloves were really hard to get rid of just because they were new and the girls barely used them, but I know they were really excited about getting them. And as always, one of my weaknesses is still the schoolroom. I'm still struggling to figure out what will I actually use versus what can I part with and live without. So I went through our curriculum pile, decided to get rid of all these things, and of course some of the knickknacks like stamps that I had just too many of. I also decided that it's time to part with some of our read-alouds that we did when the kids were younger that I know I won't be rereading again as the younger kids get older. I think we're just going to choose new read-alouds, and it'll just help me to have less and be able to get it from the library. And shockingly enough, I got rid of this dresser because somebody I was helping with organizing could really use it in their home, and it really was taking up too much space in the current home that we live in. Last year our goal was to get rid of over 2,021 items, and here is the total amount of items we have donated in 2021, and we are definitely continuing to declutter, so make sure you come back next week so you can see how many items we decluttered just in the month of January. I was blown away.